Okay. Can we start now, or do we need to wait a bit more?
No, you can start.
Hmm? Okay, I'm guessing I can start. So where
Yeah, you
were
can
we?
start. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, okay. You can start.
So this is day three, right? I'm kind of losing count of dates at this point. This is day three of the boot camp. Yes, good. Hmm. So welcome back, everyone, and good evening. So I actually thought of covering just prototyping today, but since I didn't get enough time yesterday, believe it or not, I'm just gonna cover some portions I missed, and then go into prototyping in Figma. And tomorrow we'll cover a bit of Framer. Cool. Okay, since nobody's replying, I'm guessing everyone's okay with it. Let me just get Figma ready. Is my internet it's slow every single time I take a class? Only time it's slow. It's freaking fast every other day. Yeah. I'm guessing my screen is visible to you. Just let me know if it's not.
It's visible.
Oh, so this is where I left off yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't make any progress with it, actually because I had college. I just got back, so that is the reason why I'm late. I'm so sorry for causing the delay. So let me just get a bit right there. Hmm. Okay. So do you guys need like just a small overview on what happened in the last class, or something like that? In case someone was not there, or someone missed it. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I think it's on. So okay, I have this left side panel, right? And I'm just gonna make a server icon here with an icon ellipse. Roughly the same size. Yeah, looks good to me. Maybe a pixel more. Okay. It doesn't don't need to be like so meticulously. You don't have to go through anything. I just have OCD. You do too. Congratulations. It's not fun. Okay, coming back to this. Okay, let's just say I want exact like all my this circles to be exactly, let's say, hmm, 12 pixels from the left side. Exactly 12 pixels. I have two methods to do it. I could either just, as I just did, I could make a shape or a rectangle there, take my circle and just snap to it. So you can see the orange line actually comes in, and actually it's actually coincidentally the center too. So yeah, you can see the orange line. But what if I want to permanently see it, just to get a feel of what the design is and where all I could, I have space or what padding I require and all of that. So in that cases, and in those cases where you actually permanently need some reference and margins, you could use rulers. This is what your current workspace looks like, right? We just hit shift and R, the rulers will actually pop up. and these actually give you a visual representation of the coordinates that Figma use. So and you could actually click on a ruler and drag in an actual element from the ruler to your workspace. So it's bright red right now. That's because I have it selected. So, and like all the other shapes, rulers can actually snap to centers and edges. So be careful while moving it around. I'm gonna keep it about 12 pixels away from the left side and 12 pixels away from the other side too. And since the circle is already positioned perfectly, I'm just gonna use the circle as my guide. So as you can see, I actually have like two spaces. The benefits of using rulers is that you don't have to worry about them when you show your final design, because when you actually turn off the rulers in the document, those reference lines go out. Don't need to worry about them anymore. They just snip, not there. I really want to make a joke, but I'm so tired. I'm really sorry. Okay. So I'm just gonna make duplicates of it. Again, for duplicates, just press Alt, keep the Alt key pressed, click on it and drag, place it wherever you want, and let go of your mouse, and then of the Alt key. If you don't, you just drag the shape around. I'm not gonna mess with it much. Yeah, that's good. Guess that could work. Then those are rollers. Uh, just gonna delete that because they look really bad. Let's say you want to show your design to someone, and that person maybe does not use Figma. Maybe he's your, let's say boss, annoying boss that always wants to keep an eye on you and does not let you design well. You could actually send him a PNG file. Just click on your frame, hit export. On the right side panel, you can see there's an export category. Click plus there. And there are a lot of settings you can actually change. The first one is the multiplier, or let's say bounds or limits of what the PNG should be. So it's currently at 1 time, which means the resolution of the final PNG or image that I export will be the same as what I see here in Figma. To the pixel, it will be exactly the same to the pixel. Whatever change it to 2x, it will be twice the size. In Figma, it will stay the same. It will still be the 1920 by 1030 frame, but when I export it, it will be 3460 by 2060. 3440? 3640. Okay, I'm getting max wrong. 3840. Can somebody check if it's 3840 or 3640?
It is 3840.
It is 3840. Nice. Okay. So it's going to be 3840 by 2060. And if I hit 4 times, it will be 4 times as much. And I'm too lazy to calculate.
Attention to detail.
So and I can actually limit the width. Huh?
Nothing. Just continue.
Okay. Why is your voice really low? Do I have something muted? Let me just check my volume mixer. If I use Windows 11, so hard to use. Where is my volume mixer? Ah, there it is. Ah, yes, volume mixer. Yes, I had my browser at about. No, I had my browser at 20%, and everything else at 100%. I'm blasting music through Spotify. That explains it. Okay. So I could let me just switch my screen here because I don't think you can actually see the whole screen. Entire screen. Sure. Okay. Okay. As you can see, this is just Figma. I'm just just gonna export our little file there with 4 times. Okay, you might have seen some. Okay, let me just just clean up my desktop a bit. There might be things that I don't want to show you. You know, secret stuff, missile launch codes, and what secret stuff do I have? I guess nothing. So where is Google Meet? Yeah, found it. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, you can see I actually saved it to my desktop, and on my desktop you could find the file. It's just named Discord. Like the file would be named the same as the frame that it's in. Just open it. Yeah, this I don't think if you can see it, but this is actually the frame. Don't think I can actually zoom out anymore. Can zoom in. Too much. Just the edge. You can make out just the edges of it because I don't have anything in there. Like yeah. So that's just the export menu, and you can actually have a suffix in case you're actually exporting a lot of frames and stuff. You can add a suffix to the end just to let you know. Or if you have multiple versions of something, you could just, instead of changing the frame name, you could add a suffix in the export menu itself. And next comes the format. You have PNG and JPG, the usual image formats. Then there's SVG, which is a scaled vector, which is stands for scaled vector graphics, I think. Yeah, scale vector graphics. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm really bad at by hearting stuff. SVG just saves it as a vector. And I guessing you remember what I told about vectors and rasters. Rasters? Regular images. And then there's an option to export it as a PDF. Yeah, this is just bounding boxes and all those settings. You won't probably use it much, but in case you will, on the 3 dots there, you can actually ignore overlapping layers. That means if you export as a SVG, it could be layered. There might be shapes. The SVGs are usually layered, and PNGs could be layered too, but it's very rare to find PNGs that are layered. So this just adds, keeps the layer data. And the include bounding box thing, the blue boxes, it just shows the blue boxes in your final export. I'll just show it to you. You see, I have a feeling that my PC crashed. Yeah, really sorry about that, but apparently Figma just decided to crash my laptop. Should have actually joined in from my PC, but eh, anyway. Well, where did I stop? Where did I stop? Yes. Uh, okay, okay, the bounding box thing. I'm not gonna do that again because I'm scared it'll crash again. So just understand that if you have this box selected, you just export all the bounding boxes too. Hmm. Okay. Moving on. Let my Figma start up so that I can actually share my screen. Hmm. Okay. Is Figma's been wait. Where is? Okay, it's there. It's there. Oh, thank God I didn't lose it. Who else is? I'm. Wait, huh? Never mind. I think apparently I'm using it with myself. Okay, Figma might have been. Might have. Figma's just going through something. Just ignore it. Okay, I'm just gonna bring in another design from a project of mine. Show you an example. Where is it? I think I'll just make it with you because did Figma crash again? I actually heard someone type text, but I can't. I just see my mouse moving. It crashed again. Perks of running beta software. You experience a lot of crashes. Anyway, it's damn good that you actually start a conversation. Apparently, Windows 10 and Figma just don't work together well. I'm just gonna use the web version. I'm scared to open Figma now. I'll just troubleshoot it later in my own time. Where is this? Is not my account. Where is my account? This is my other account. Log out. I was walking like about 15 minutes late. Now my PC keeps crashing. Yes, I am a really good mentor. I know. You don't have to, tell me that. I'm writing a really honest letter to Figma after and Microsoft. Yeah, I'm actually booting up the web version. I'm gonna miss shortcuts. A window. Okay. Okay. Continuing on. Why does the web version load faster than it's why I'm just confused. I'm just always confused. Am I sharing my screen or just a window? Because I got a really a good few notifications. Did anyone see that? Not sure if I'm actually showing my whole display. Oh, good, good.
You're just sharing your window. We can't see the
Huh?
notifications.
What?
Am I
I couldn't
still
hear
not
you. I was
audible,
adjusting
friend?
my earphone. I was adjusting my earphone.
Oh shit, okay.
Okay. You were saying? Apparently. Oh. It's not your voice, my earphones. Bad. I haven't charged them in a while. Anyway, okay. Wait, this is the wrong tab. Okay. I'm here back in Figma. So, let's just say I had a big, long, freaking thick boy here, thick boy square here. I'm just gonna make it right there. It's the exact size and change it to the. This is just to delete these two layers here. Change the fill to. Just ignore me for a while. I'm just setting this up. Yeah, I got the handles now. It was missing yesterday. 24. Kinda replicated it, but it's too much of a curvature. But this will work. This should work because again, perks of being a designer, lazy. Okay, let's just say I just have a square here, a rectangle. 48. Where is 48? Yeah, I have a rectangle. And I want this to be the same color as the one in the background. And as you may have already noticed, you no longer see the square, rectangle. Let's just go with shape. You no longer see the shape because, well, obviously it's the same color. If you put a green color paper in front of a green color paper, you can barely see the smaller green color paper. Well, you can see the green color paper because it's paper. Since this is the same color, you can't see it. I want this layer to pop out or differentiate itself. Some methods I would use is just add a stroke there, a darker stroke, maybe color 10. Yeah, this shape actually stands out. What if I don't want a stroke? This actually looks pretty unclean and kind of not modern. It's not used correctly. If you get that feeling, just add a shadow. And here comes the effects panel of Figma. Just click on plus and it automatically adds a drop shadow there. You could change the shadow's coordinates. It's with respect to the shape. If you change x, that would mean it's the regular x value of the shape plus 4, and y is regular y value plus 4. And then there's the amount of blur. The more you blur, the more you can actually notice that the square there is actually becoming a lot visible, lot more visible. Then there's the spread. That's just how much the shadow goes. I recommend leaving it at 0. Just the default shadow is good. And then the color of the shadow. This would actually be useful when you're making, neon signs and things that actually radiate light. So you could add a shadow layer to them and just add a color to the shadow. That would actually, a brighter color, that would point towards the fact that it's a light source. It's just shadow. What's wrong with the shadow? Shadows can be lights too. So shadow is not the only effect Figma has. You have inner shadows, which means it'll add the shadow to the inside of the shape. And if you can notice, it actually looks like the shape is, indented, or someone punched this code hard enough that it actually put a hole in it. And the drop shadows actually makes it feel like the thing is popping out. Layer blur just adds a blur to it. I can't see it because it's again same color. Background blur just blurs the background behind it. I'll just show you a really huge thing with background blur. Let me just make a shape there. I'm gonna make it white. And add a bit of background blur. Maybe curve it a bit because I don't want it to be too sharp. Just let's see what 10%. Okay, 10. Can you? As you can notice, it actually maybe a small stroke white just to give it a bit of definition. As you can notice, it's actually acting like a piece of glass, frosted glass, which you can actually customize. You can actually control how much quote unquote frosted it is. Less frosted and super clear, blur should be 0, and if you want it, cloudy AF, just set the blur to your perfect amount. Then there's layer blur, which is it just blurs the layer, and you can notice that the stroke is a bit blurred. Yeah, that's what rock shadows. And one of the greatest things you can do with shadows is, has anyone heard the word neumorphism? Anyone? I'm just gonna type the word there. Oh, you have. Abdullah, would you like to explain it to everyone? I'm guessing you're typing. Should I be waiting? If you're not typing, could you just say that? Or you could unmute yourself, it exists, because typing is going to take a lot of time. And it's already 7:50. And I blame myself for making this session about 20 minutes shorter. Maybe 30 because of all the crashes, but yeah. Anyway, neumorphism just involves, as you saw with the shadow, you actually got a feeling that the layer was elevated from what's behind, right? What neumorphism does is it enhances it. It's, it's just cranking it up to 100. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a plugin there. I have a plugin installed called Neumorphism. I'll explain what the plugin does in a moment. Let it load up. Yep, I'm gonna neumorph it. I'm gonna add an intent, division, intensity. Okay, I think that's cool enough. As you can see now, it's unlike the shadow. This actually gives you a feeling that there's a light source on around right here on the top left, like casting a shadow on what looks like a plateau on Discord, right? This is what neumorphism is. It gives you a visual. It shows that there is depth to what it is. It's one single, let's say, object, and it has depth. But in case of just a regular shadow, I'm just going to remove all the neumorphism. I'm going to just add a regular shadow, add 4 to it, blur by a bit. Okay. The fill could be the regular fill. So, as you can see, the first one actually his like it gives an illusion that it's touching the layer behind it. The second one, however, just shows that it's elevated away. It's kind of heightened. It's floating above the layer behind. This is one of the more modern trends to design. And there, neumorphism isn't the only thing there. There's something called skeuomorphism. That's the way of making things look 3D and kind of flashy. I think if you remember the old iPhones, there's iOS or Mac OS. You'd actually know the old what dock. As you can see, all of these. Okay, this is not old enough. Also, is that too old? Let me just find the perfect one. Yeah, right here. Like Apple is trying to convey that all these icons have depth in them, because the main icon, if you can see, it kind of looks like it's a reflective layer. Then there's a envelope actually floating in air. This is what skeuomorphism is. It gives an illusion that it's 3D. There are more glassmorphism is that it is, yes, just making things look like glass. You just have to follow what the new trends, quote unquote trends, are in design. If you actually stick to a single design and keep reusing it, you might end up being a bit outdated. Pretty cool. So these are indeed very cool. I use neumorphism a lot. I've just recently got into glassmorphism. I'm still stuck in neumorphism, so I'm apparently not modern enough. I've just found glassmorphism, meh. No offense to people who like glassmorphism. So what that plugin did with this layer was just it added 4 different drop shadows to it. And if you look closely, there's a drop shadow right here, and on the top and to the left, and then there's onto the both other sides. The one on the right and bottom are actually darker, and the one on the top and left are lighter, which already gives you an illusion that there's light hitting the layer. Another thing that actually dials it in is the fact that when you check the layer, there's a small gradient going in from the top left to the top right. Just think about it. If you had a bowl and you had light shining in it from a corner, the layer, like the rim of the bowl, would actually cast a shadow into it, right? This is just emulating that. It's just showing that it has a rim around it, and that the rim actually is blocking a lot of light, And as you go farther away from the rim, the lighter the layer gets. You can it's done with about 6 different shadows. You don't have to learn any of them. I did not. I just use the neumorphism plugin. Just neumorph it. I can adjust the elevation, intensity, and what kind it is. I can even make it, look like it's someone punched it in. And change the direction of the light. The plugin manages everything. Then I do. There's not much effort in it now. Actually, it's the perfect time for you to actually get into design. The only effort you have to take is me coming up with a really good design and making it work. Okay. I think I've covered FX. Does anyone have any doubts till now? Nobody is making even a slight noise. You could use the chat. You do know that, right? Hmm.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, sure. Ask away.
Yes, can you please zoom out for a second? Showing the both Discord screenshot and the one that you're making. Yes. So when
Yeah.
we are trying to copy from a screenshot or uh, making the similar design, on
Yeah.
the left hand side of the screenshot, we can see there are the icons for the Discord servers, and
Yeah.
because I've scaled to the exact dimension of the screen of the screenshot, I also
Huh?
want to align all the icons exactly on the same spot on my panel that I'm creating. So how
Okay.
to align the both things, like how to use a scale or whatever tools we can use to
Okay.
align the two things.
Okay. So the thing with actually using a screenshot as a reference is that you kind of have to manually guess what the shape could be. You have to get to the closest you can with manually for shapes. But if you just want to align it exactly with the other one, let's just say I have this icon there, the shape there. And do you remember rulers? I just told you about it. As you notice,
Yes.
these rulers are inside the frame, right? But
Yes.
I want, let's just say I want this icon to be, I want a ruler all the way through to the other end. What I just want to do is just click on it, drag down. But I'm not putting the ruler inside any frame. I'm keeping my mouse outside any frame, any and all frames. Okay. I'm just adding two rulers there, lining it. Yeah. And as you can see, it actually stretches the whole width of the document. As much as you can travel, it goes. So now I have a square here. I could just place the circle and it fits in perfectly because these two lines I just took it directly from here. I knew actually the difference between the pixels were 12, so I aligned it. Is your doubt clear? Or
Yeah, perfect.
okay? Anyone else?
Can you, yeah,
Yeah, I can.
okay, can you say how to,
Huh? Sorry, could you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
okay, can you say how to come up with a roller?
Oh, just hit Shift and R on your keyboard.
Oh,
That actually enables and disables the ruler. And to bring a ruler in, click on the scale on the topmost part or the leftmost part of the workspace and drag it in. Click on it and drag, and you will see a red line there. If you want to delete one, you could either select it and hit delete on your keyboard or drag it back to where it came from. Good?
okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's go to assets. Okay. So let's just say I have this circle and I'm just going to add an image there. choose image. Desktop. Do I have anything in my desktop? Do I have anything in downloads? I don't have anything. Oh, wow. I don't have anything. Images.google.com. Just downloading a random image. Totally not a meme reference. Okay. Coming back to Figma. Desktop. Okay, there's. Let's just say I have this icon here, and I'm gonna add a fill below it. Why? Oh, black. Let's make it black. Red. Where is remove PG? I think it's easier with a button like thing. I'm just gonna create a very basic button here. Rounded edges, just because I like rounded edges. People who don't use rounded edges are psychopaths. Please don't take that seriously. I am dumb. Do not listen to me. Enable local fonts. Wait, what? No! Why? Why did you take me out? I'm just gonna use regular font. I'm really not used to the, web version of Figma. I haven't used it much. The instant I started Figma, I downloaded the offline, not offline, the desktop app. Let's just see. I have a button here. I want to make it bright red because I hate my eyes. I'm gonna space it out a bit. Yeah, but so I'm gonna frame that. Okay, shortcut's not working. Never mind. I'm gonna frame it and name it button. I think I should. Okay. Let's just say I want multiple buttons. I could just duplicate it multiple times, and I could create a new page here. Stuff, I guess. Oh, I didn't talk about pages. Pages are just like your workspace, but a page contains all your things you work on. If you create a new page, the original page still remains. Don't worry, you didn't delete anything. You just have a new page to work in. If you have multiple designs or something, you could have multiple pages running all of them simultaneously, and you could maintain them. So anyway, I have this button, and the thing is, I wanna use it in a lot of cases. If you check Discord itself, on the right panel for a user, by default there's a DP or a display picture, then there's the status, their name, and their activity status. So in this case, the button, this is just a really simple example. I have it in a frame, I have a red button, and I have the red text button on it. If I wanted to make it a global asset, let's say global asset as in I use it a lot. I want it everywhere. I want multiple copies. I don't care what happens to it. I'm gonna make a component. Right click on it, create component, or Control Alt K. And if you have noticed, the usual bounds have changed from blue to a purple. And if you go to the assets tab on your left panel, you can see the button there. It's added in as an asset. So let's say I want 3 buttons inside this. One button there. Hit K, scale it down a bit. Make 3 buttons. So as you can see, this is an eyesore, and I want to make these buttons maybe a bit maybe white. I could use the dark color. Yeah, I want to make the buttons that color, but again, I'm just too lazy to go in and edit every single button, which I just did. Let's just assume I did not and undo everything I did. Okay, that's why I have all these buttons. And in case you have got a lot of these, even in Discord's case, you have a lot of usernames on the right side. Since these are just duplicates of our main component, I could just go to the component, change its color. Everything changed. As you can see, if you change the property of the primary component or the asset that you have made, it applies to every single child or duplicate of it that you created. And that way you could make your work a lot easy, honestly. I'm gonna change the font here to, I don't know, Gilroy. That's not the, why are all my fonts? I hate Figma. That goes against Arial, I guess. I just changed the font to Arial. Wait, why can't I change the font to Arial? Arial is not. Yeah, I can change the font and it actually applies to everything else. So whatever you do to the primary component or the parent component applies to every single one of the child components. Let's say I just want to add more neumorphism. I'm so in love with neumorphism that I want to add a shadow to that too. And just go to the plugin of it. Oh, I did not see that coming. So what it did is it took the color of the button and applied that color to the shadows. But the thing is, the layer behind does not use the same color. What neumorphism depends on is the layers using the same colors. What I'm going to do is just, in this case, I'm going to change the button to use the same color and add my effect to it. This is going to be really bad at the end, I know. And as you can see, the component has all the shadows that it needs, and so do the child bodies, copies. I'm struggling here. So what if I want the button to be a different color? I apply the neumorphism effect. I just need to change the color. The shadows will remain the same because I haven't, changed the shadow colors. I've just changed the color of the actual thing. And as you can see, the button has actually changed colors and there is a slight neumorphic effect on it. There are a lot of tricks you can do. Because let's say I want the inner curve depth thing. I'm gonna create a duplicate of that, detach it. What detaching does is actually disconnects it. So if I change this now, this one won't change because it's not connected anymore. So let's just remove all the effects it has right now. And I have a solid color and I added the neumorphism effect there. But as you can notice, this will not blend in properly with our design, right? Just gonna remove that. This will not blend in with our design. So a trick that I found that I could, use to save a lot of time is let me just remove the linear color, make it solid, and remove all the shadows. What I could do is I could duplicate the square layer, duplicating it. And as you can see, there are two layers, but since they're the same layer, you can't see it. So the top layer is the one which hosts the actual text, and the bottom layer is the one on top of our background. What I'm going to do is change the color of the bottom layer to be the same color as the background. You can't see the bottom layer, but it's there. If I turn off the visibility of the top layer, you can see there is a bottom layer there. What I'm going to do is add the neumorphism effect to the bottom layer and maybe intensify it a bit. No need for that. And remove its inner shadows because you're not seeing the inside of it, right? Just going to have 4 drop shadows. I'm going to do the same with the layer on top and add it all in, add a curve. Now, in this case, we don't want the shadows behind it or the shadows under it. That's a drop shadow. I'm just going to remove the drop shadows there. And I do have the curve, and I do have the shadows behind it. And it actually looks a bit elevated too. This is not the optimal solution, but it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works. That's it. So, does anyone have to ask anything about components? Or what I just, the stupidity I just told, because I got a bit carried away. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So I'll cover prototyping tomorrow because I don't think I have time after what I'm gonna say now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I just wanna, if you're actually going into design, there are a lot of things that you have to discover, right? So, first of all, as I said yesterday, if you just stay behind and don't interact with people you meet, or showcase what you're capable of to other people, nobody would notice you. Nobody's ever gonna notice you if you stay back, because you're the only person who can hype yourself up. No one else. You can't rely on anyone else to do that. So I really encourage that you actually start talking more often. And I'm not saying that you need to talk in this meet. Just if you get a chance to do it, just do it. Don't care about what comes after. Pep talk over. Going back to designing. So there are a lot of principles that you actually have to follow. That you don't have to follow them. It's better you do, because again, a lot of research has gone into finding these quote unquote principles, and it depends on how the human perceives it. You can actually make designs, really good designs, without, with complete disregard to them. But if you are starting off and you don't have any ideas, it's better you actually keep them in mind and go, like, sample what you can do. And if you do have the confidence that you can make something, then just do it. Let's just start. There's the first thing you have to actually keep in mind is balance. What balance is? Okay. Let's just say you have a frame. You want if you divide it from the center, you want the left and right sides to be about the same. If they drastically change a lot, in all apps you can actually notice that the left and right sides are pretty balanced. They are almost equal. I'm not saying they're like mirror images of each other, but they're almost equal. They look almost equal. It just helps weigh things, uh, it makes sure that your eyes don't stress too much towards one side. You can use balance in another way. That is, if you're using a design for it, sure, you can actually do it. But let's just say you have a typography in mind. Typography is just the way of converting text to actual art, just by typing it out in a way. In short, yes. I'm really bad at explaining things again. If you go to a lot of websites, you can actually notice that text tends to be on the right side and kind of large, and the image tends to be on the left side. There we follow something called the rule of thirds. We separate our whole layer into thirds, and for the first, a third of it will have the image and 2/3 of it will have the text. You just have to make sure that it looks good. The text doesn't, take much off of your image, and that the image doesn't distract out from the text. You have to maintain a balance. It's like having 1 kilogram of steel versus having 1 kilogram of feathers. They're the same weight, just look really different. Yes, you think, let me guess. Then there is emphasis. If you want to give emphasis to something, let's just say you have a lot of text you want. If you want people to see something first, you could make it bolder or make it a bit larger. That is called giving something emphasis. There are a lot of tricks to do, like using brighter colors for things. If you go to any website, the login button will usually be a bit colorless, and the sign up button will be really colorful. That's true for almost every single website and web service. That's because they want to, grab you in. But then there is a particular design style. If you want to make something and you just throw a bunch of colors of 50 different fonts, various different icon sets and all, it would look really, really, I'd say, disturbing. I would be scared of you if you do that, honestly speaking. What you need to do is you have to decide on a really good font, one font or two fonts at max, that are really good to you and you know the in and outs of it really well, and maybe a color, one color or two. Don't exceed 2 or 3, maybe 3. Don't exceed 3 because it's just gonna look like a unicorn threw up, and that's not a good sight. And if you have an icon set, let's say if you're following the material icons from Google, make sure you use the material icon sets, because even the slightest changes in icons is actually, you can notice it pretty easily. The user, if you don't notice it, the user will. So make sure if you are using icons, all of them come from the same pack, same designer, or if you design it yourself, make sure you obey your own rules or set of rules that you have set just to design them. Next is usage of white space. Okay, white space is just, empty places that you leave. You might want to refer to Apple's website for this because they use it really good. Apple actually leaves a lot of space on the left and right side of their websites, but the thing is, they do it really good. No, to be honest, nobody does product websites better than Apple. I gotta give it to them. And their usage of white space actually brings your attention to what is necessary. So if you take the iMac page, what the first thing you notice is how slim the iMac is. And the white space actually makes sure that your focus goes straight to it. It makes sure that nothing else is in your visual cone, and that the Mac you see is the Mac they want you to see. Then comes proportions. That's just, common sense. Common sense as in, if you have a logo and you make the text tiny and the logo super big, it'll look awkward, really awkward. You just have to maintain a perfect balance between everything. You don't want to oversize something or make something too small. Just keep a balance between all of them. It might be hard at first if you're just starting off, but as you work in more and more projects, you'll get a hang of it. Just, again, Behance and Dribble X's, a lot of inspiration from them. And the use of contrast, not contract, sorry. Contrast is just how colors look different from each other. The saturation. Contrast is the amount of saturation of a color. You can say same amount of saturation, but it's not actually correct. It's kind of the difference between two colors, let's say. How it splits them apart. You can use contrast really well. Just, again, the sign up button. If you have a filled in sign up button and one with just a stroke, your eyes go towards the filled in one first. Then hierarchy is the same as what I've told you before about, bringing focus to something, emphasizing something. Just, again, making text larger. The larger text would actually be noticeable more. and the smaller text would be, you could include fine print in the smaller text. The big text would be win 10,000 rupees, and you could add a bit smaller text saying yes right now for free, and add even smaller text saying if you pay 1 lakh. The user won't probably notice the last line. They will sign up. This is called manipulation. You have to learn that. Please don't manipulate people. It's bad. But you have to do that when it comes to the market. You want to control what the user sees and what the user perceives. It can be used in a bad way. It can be used in a good way. But I prefer the good way. It's up to you. I'm no one to judge. So let's say next. What's the next thing? Oh, I really should have lists. Oh, using patterns, yes. Let's just, if you don't know how to use white space properly, presentation is not, I'm not presenting. Oh, I really should have made a presentation. I'm so sorry. My college opened and I really didn't get time to finish it up. I honestly did not expect the bootcamp and my college to actually sync up, but it did. If you want a presentation, I could actually make something for Saturday. Or are you guys understanding just, from me talking? Or I could just make a visual presentation on Saturday.
Actually, what I meant was the screen that you were trying to present is not visible.
Oh.
Is
Oh, okay. I wasn't presenting, so.
okay.
I just want to know if people are actually understanding me just blabbering on.
Okay.
So if they're not, I could actually make a presentation. So,
I think presentation might be more good for them. Okay, that's choice. Okay. I was thinking my presentation is not okay.
So Harsh is understanding it. Is anyone having difficulties actually keeping up with me? Because I'm only talking and you don't have. Okay, I'll make a presentation. I will not be using PowerPoint. I will not be making a PPT. I will make it in Figma. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll make the presentation in Figma. I'll use Framer. I don't know. Maybe I'll tie it up with the Framer class and explain it all again. Wait, if I'm doing the presentation, do I need to tell? Do you want to know what the rest of some of the principles that I follow are? Or should I just include it in the presentation? Okay. Yeah, I should have actually taken care of that. Again, college is really hard, man. I get home at about 6. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll just go through it really briefly now, and I'll show you I will try to make a really good presentation by Saturday. Is that cool? Okay. So scaling is a thing, just the size of all things relative to each other. That I was talking about white space, right? So if you don't know how to use white space, interactive voice overcome. We realize you're talking to fourth years who are fed up. Okay. And I'm still on my second year. I still haven't went to my third year because COVID launched itself into the stratosphere. Okay. Yeah, if you don't know how to use white space, just add a pattern to the background. Maybe it's heaven. If this is heaven, I don't want to. I'm gonna drop engineering. I don't want to continue. This is not heaven. Oh, rotten hell, what? And please, you're discouraging me. I want this degree. Even if it's for my, just as a proof of my date of birth. ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕಂತಾನೆ ಸತ್ಯ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿಪೋಯಿ. Again, use of patterns. Yeah, just use patterns in the background, and again, scaling different things related to each other. Bringing in variety to your design is really good because If you just make everything too uniform, it'll just look like your college website, really bad, really badly designed, and you hate every moment you look at it. Unless your college has a really good website, in that case, bravo, you found a good college. Then there is Unity, which is it actually involves actually selecting colors, because you don't want to always go for colors that are really drastically different with each other, because not all colors work together well. If you can't decide on a color palette which uses multiple colors, just use lighter or darker versions of the same color. That is what Google has done with the material design. You have black or white, or gray or white, plus a color, and just different shades of the color. It just reuses the same color, and not much effort in building the palette that way. You will still get a gorgeous design. You just have to know what amounts of color to use. I think I'm not forgetting anything. If I am forgetting something, I will add it to the presentation. So does anyone have to ask me anything about, till now? Doubts are entertained. If you want to voice your opinions, then it's entertained. If you just want to, crack a joke, it's fine. If you want to sing, sure, go ahead, sing. No one's stopping you. I'm giving you a really good opportunity to make yourself heard. Covering responsive designs. Okay, do you want me to cover it? If you want, I could. Want to see me play also? Okay, maybe later, Carlton. Harry, if you want me to cover it, yeah, sure, I will. It was not. Oh, Harsh, that is actually pretty good. There are a lot of improvements you could make, but if you are actually, if it's your first attempt at a design, it's really a freaking good, man. Okay, I will actually talk about it then. Responsive designs. It's kind of out of my area, but yeah, I will cover it. Yeah, just by brief. And Atul, I won't sing. I don't have a singing voice. So Harsh, are you open to criticism? Harsh? Okay, Atul also made something. Oh, wait. Okay, you guys made a design, right? From yesterday's assignment. Ooh. Okay, I'll come to you. Harsh, let me just ask this. If you have made a design, is there any way we could share a form link with them, just to share the link of the Figma workspace? Hello.
Yeah, we were planning to do that, but can we include it as a final assignment, the entire submission,
No,
or
we could get the link earlier, because if they work in the same workspace, we don't need to
but
keep
we have
updating it.
given assignments for different. Okay, we have given assignments. The all the topics. Later day, you have discussed something about cloning a favorite app. So
Yeah.
we given the thing that we have assigned that project, or we have given the assignment to those students. I think as giving a form might be better. I thought then the last submission might be better.
Oh, okay
Okay,
then.
then we can
On day
have a,
5,
okay.
yes.
So we can have a great review during this after section. If tomorrow, if you are giving a assignment today, we can give them a link itself today itself to upload their their achievements or bit achievements in this day. So we can review the next day. Okay.
Maybe we could have a 6th day just going through designs.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Would that
Yeah.
work? Or am I
Uh,
just, aiming for the stars?
yeah. Let me contact. Let me ask her lead So what's your opinion? We should ask
Oh,
you
okay.
for.
Like if we have a 6 day, we could just turn off recording and have a conversation with each other, look at
Yeah,
designs
there
that
is
you
a
all
section,
made.
doubt clearance section. There's 2 days are for doubt clearance. Any
Like
kinds of
two
doubt clearance.
days,
Yeah, there are
I
two
was
days.
actually thinking of 2 days after the bootcamp, right?
Yeah, after the bootcamp, after the
Oh,
section, there
okay.
are 2 days for the doubt clearance section. So
Oh, okay. We could cover it then.
yeah, during that session, I think it would be most appropriate to cover any kind of big doubts, anything, or you can even review their projects.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Uh, okay. Today I'm just gonna review Harsh's project because it's already 8:30. Hari and Atul, both of yours look really good. Just font selection and all, and just a few minor bugs. But since Harsh, he came up first, like, is it fine if I go through both of yours and take a bit more time, or I think it's actually already pretty long. I've already taken a lot of time. Maybe I will call Harsh's at the end too. Yeah, drop it in Discord, I guess. If I could, I'll just reply to it uh, with all this, with my opinions on it, and yeah. So cool. Cool. Is it cool with everyone? Okay. So what I want you to do today is just make maybe one or two more frames for it, because what I've noticed in Harsh's, Atul's and Hari's projects is that you just have one single frame of it, right? Try to make two or three or as much as you can. If you have time for it, yeah, sure. But if you don't have time for it, it's fine too. Just maybe touch up your design a bit and make it a bit cleaner. Okay? So same assignment as yesterday. Oh, cool, Harsh. I'm actually really looking forward to what you make. And also the bank balance, pretty accurate. Gotta say, mine is less than that, but yeah, pretty accurate. Oh wait, that's the amount. That's oh no, I just revealed my bank balance. Never mind. That's something you could do, Harsh. Maybe work on the hierarchy. Yeah. Cool. So before I leave, does anyone want to ask me anything? Could be related to the session, could not. Question. 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 So I have a weird accent. Working on it. So, okay, I'm guessing no one has to say anything. Oh, have you ever worked for a client as a UI designer? Let's say I haven't had many clients. Again, I don't take clients in yet. I do work in a startup. It's from my college. I work as the creative ladder and the UI designer. I clients I haven't had much. I just work on personal projects, and if I feel like making something, I do it. Not open to clients yet. So it doesn't mean you have to do the same. If you have a really good understanding of it, you could just take up projects and do it. I just personally prefer it when it's on my own terms. So anyone else? Oh, I forgot about using Malayalam. Short session on what's opportunities and what's the roadmap ahead? Okay, Harsh, could you remind me? Could you keep it in mind and remind me later? Because I have a feeling I will forget this, even if I save it as a note. Yeah, let me just print screen. I'm gonna set that as my desktop wallpaper, just so that I don't forget it. Yeah, got it. So, okay, what works? Do I have to make a presentation for you guys? I have to talk about the roadmaps and all the future opportunities. Anything else? Anything else I could add? Because 5 days are actually pretty long time. I have a feeling I'll finish it on day 4. Criticisms. Oh, about design, your designs or my designs, or UI UX in general, because I have a lot of criticisms about that. Oh, UI UX in general. Your designs are actually pretty good. Yeah, cover the. If you are talking about giving opinions on the designs you guys made, then I'll do it during the doubt clearing sessions. Okay. So I'm guessing everyone's done with their doubts. Harsh, if you have more doubts, yes, do ask. You don't have to stop at 2 or 3. Doubts are good. Oh, no, I won't say that. I might get into trouble. Yeah, every professional has a hatred towards the field they work in. It's just the usual. But you still work in it because you love it. It's like a love-hate relationship. Just makes you want to pull your hair out, but also makes you feel good. Anyone else? Anything else? Stay for the attendance. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't leave. Mark your attendance, please.
Hello there. Hope all of you
Hello.
have. Hello, am I audible?
Oh yeah, you are.
Okay. Hope all of you had a great time here, and it's our third day. Thank you, our mentor Adityan Jatan, for it's so kind of you that you're having your time here. And the rest of all, please find the attendance form in the chat box, and you have to make sure that you're going through it. And once again, thank you all. And that's it for today. Yeah.
Also, by the way, I have a feeling that I'm actually pretty younger than you, and you just called me Chetan.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
To all of you, just call me Adityan. It's fine. Even
Yeah.
if you're
Sure.
younger or older than me, just call me Adityan. It genuinely hurts. I can't believe I'm old. Yeah. So just fill in the attendance forms, I guess, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. I'm gonna go watch, I don't know, Squid Game or something. Yeah, see you later, Harsh. I'm really looking forward to you completing your design.